welcome Michelle Sanford.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you about my best friend in the world, who is called King Chad. In fact, his name is just Chad, not King Chad. But he was introduced to me as King Chad. I had just started working at Microsoft, and I walked into the office and everyone was larger than life, and they were all so friendly and, I don't know, dynamic, exciting, smart, everything. And about a week after I started, one of the sales guys introduced me to King Chad. And he said, Michelle, you haven't met King Chad yet. And poor Chad was a little engineer. And where we were talking about nerdy people before, he's that guy in an office full of shiny salespeople. And so he was mortified to be introduced to the new girl in the office as King Chad. And he ran away. I mean, probably scuttled away would be better, and hid behind his computer screen. A few minutes later, I got a little message on the screen saying, would you like to go out and get coffee? And it was from King Chad. And so I said, yes, of course. And so we snuck out of the office before any of the salespeople could see us. And we went to one of the coffee places out in the food court. And the woman said, what do you want? And I said, well, I'll have a flat white. And then she looked at Chad, and he said, oh, no, I don't drink coffee. And I looked at him and I said, do you realize how weird it is to ask someone to go for coffee when you don't drink coffee? And he said, oh, well, I'll have banana bread. And the girl behind the counter said, do you want that toasted? And he went, oh, God, no. And I was like, what? Is toasting banana bread wrong? And he said, well, it will be all dry. And I said, but you would put butter on it. And he said, oh, no. No, butter is dirty. So we went to sit down, and he explained to me that, in fact, he was afraid of condiments. Everything. I mean, we're not just talking mayonnaise and tomato sauce. Gravy is a big issue. And he told me about how he had been to Singapore recently for an interview, and it was a lunchtime interview, and they had taken him to a posh restaurant in Singapore. And so he had spent quite a while trying to pick an item off the menu that would not have sauce on it, which is pretty tough in Singapore. I'm getting the red card. And so he did successfully pick something, but then he, when it came, because it was a posh restaurant, of course, it had a pretty pattern of sauce around the edge of the plate. And he had to spend the whole meal doing his interview and trying to eat his food without touching the pattern of sauce, and without the interviewer realizing how weird he was. And that made me realize that I really like weird people, as many of my friends here, Ming, that's you, will vouch for. And so that's how interesting conversations lead to making great friends.